Hello fellow Murdlers, today is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, and it's a great day to solve a murder. Today we have the murder of the indoor poison cocktail. We have 6 3x3 grids, so we have suspects and weapons, suspects and locations, and suspects and motives, locations and motives, weapons and motives, and weapons and locations. Let's see who our suspects are today. We've got Senor Emerald, Miss Saffron, and Chancellor Tuscany. And we do have a red murder clue today. The body was found in the ocean. So let's go ahead and check out the location so we can see where we mark the murder. Okay, we've actually got the ocean. So we'll put that where as the ocean. And now we just need to figure out who, how, and why. Let's go ahead and check out our clue cards. So we've got weapons, a bookie, a poison cocktail, and a venomous snake. The locations are, of course, the ocean, which is where the murder took place, and the dining hall, and the swim-up bar. Our motives today are to rage with jealousy, to break into the industry, and to see what it felt like to kill. So let's go ahead and dive into our clues and evidence. The first one is an either or. I typically save these for later. It's usually easier to figure them out once we have a few more clues put into the grid. So we'll come back to that. The next one is an anagram. So we've got Miss Saffron was seen under something water. And this is a trickier one. Let's see. So I've got the CH, and I'm going to check out, I think, I'm going to check out the locations here. So we'll start with the ocean because we do know we have water. Nothing here that looks like it would fit. There's the China, but no. Chlorine. There we go. Okay. So this is chlorinated water. So Miss Saffron was, yes, at the swim-up bar because we see that chlorine here. And she was seen under chlorinated water. Okay. So she was at the swim-up bar. So we can go ahead and mark Miss Saffron at the swim-up bar. And of course, mark out the other locations and other suspects for that location. All right, so moving on. The person who wanted to rage with jealousy was not in the dining hall. So we go to motives and locations, rage with jealousy, and dining hall. And we put an X there. Okay. The smell of vanilla rum was found indoors. So let's look at the weapons. I'm guessing it's a poison cocktail. Yep, look for the smell of vanilla rum left behind. So we know this was found indoors, so let's check our locations. The ocean's outdoors, indoors, outdoors. All right, so we know that the poison cocktail was in the dining hall because that's our only indoor location. So we can go ahead and mark that in. Yep, indoors, we're good. And all right, let's go ahead and complete the grid there. This is why the 3x3s are so great, because you get a lot of information just from one. Now we also know that Miss Saffron did not have the poison cocktail because she was not in the dining hall, so we can go ahead and mark that as well. So we'll cross that off and move on to our next clue. Whoever wanted to see what it felt like to kill had hazel eyes. So let's flip over our suspects. Senor Emerald has brown eyes, and Miss Saffron has hazel eyes. Okay, so that could be her. And Chancellor Tuscany has green eyes, so we are looking for Miss Saffron here. So Miss Saffron's motive was to see what it felt like to kill. So let's go ahead and mark that in. All right, great. And we can also associate that motive with Miss Saffron's location in the swim-up bar. And now this leaves us with only one motive option for the dining hall, and that is to break into the industry, and that will actually help us complete our grid. Now, since we know that the poison cocktail was in the dining hall and the motive for the dining hall was to break into the industry, we can put that in as well. I think that's all we have for now, so let's go ahead and cross that off and go on to our next clue. Whoever wanted to break into the industry has brown eyes. So I remember that Senor Emerald had brown eyes, so for breaking into the industry, they were in the dining hall, so we now know Senor Emerald wanted to break into the industry, and that allows us to fill out the grid there. So now we've got 3 of our 6 grids all filled out, so that means it's a great time for us to go back to that elimination clue and see what we can see now that we have additional information. First, I'm just going to cross off our last clue here. All right, and so I think that's all we've got. So either Chancellor Tuscany brought a venomous snake or Signor Emerald brought a bookie. We know that Signor Emerald brought the poisonous cocktail, which means that Chancellor Tuscany must have brought the venomous snake. So we can go ahead and mark that in, and that allows us to solve the puzzle fully. So we can go ahead and fill out the rest of the grids here. So we know that the motive with the snake was to rage with jealousy. So now we know that Chancellor Tuscany was the murderer with a venomous snake, and the motive was to rage with jealousy. So let's go ahead before we make our accusation and fill out the rest of the grid real quickly. So we've got a bookie was with Miss Saffron, and let's see, that was in the swim up bar. And Chancellor Tuscany was in the ocean with the poisonous snake. So we can go ahead and mark that in as well. And there's our full grid for today. Awesome. So this is a great example for why I typically recommend saving these clues for last. We had a lot more information, so we knew that Signor Emerald could not have brought the bookie, which meant that Chancellor Tuscany had to have been the one to bring the venomous snake, and that was what gave us the solve ultimately. So the body was found in the ocean. We have, let's see, the ocean, and that is Chancellor Tuscany with the venomous snake, and the motive was to rage with jealousy. So let's go ahead and make our accusation and see if we were right. All right, we were right. Thanks so much for playing along. I hope this was a helpful walkthrough, and we'll see you tomorrow.